How's it going, Sag? Flip these over. Strength, the Hierophant, and the Five of Wands in reverse. So, coming out of January, Sagittarius, I'm seeing that you had been perhaps in a little bit of a struggle with your value system and the structures that you live your life from, and your ultimate belief systems with the Hierophant in the middle here. And you've come to, I feel, better conclusions through the month of January and a more solid understanding of where you get your inner strength from on a very basic, rudimentary soul level of your understanding of your place in the universe, and feeling like the petty arguments or maybe what you used to be fighting for in your life just doesn't matter anymore. However that applies to you, Sagittarius, is going to be different for everybody. So the Five of Pentacles on strength, the Hierophant, the Two of Wands. Interesting. And the Five of Swords. So maybe there had been people in your life that really wanted to keep arguing with you in a certain area of your life, whether that be professionally or personally, Sag, that I don't see this as you. I see it as a younger, maybe an air sign person that you just weren't willing to pick up the battle sticks and fight with them anymore. So good for you. It seemed you were coming to the understanding that what were you doing fighting about those things in the first place? It all seems so silly now. And with the Two of Wands on the Hierophant, yeah, I'm seeing you taking a new solid direction in your, I want to say it's starting in your inner life, Sagittarius, how you've come to these profound understandings in January that you're moving into February with about what you want to be spending your time on and what you find as worthwhile, whether that be in projects or people in your life, relationships, partnerships, however that's applying to you. Fill in the blank, Sagittarius, but I feel it's been a very internal process for you, and maybe even coming to a higher understanding of where materialism fits into your life. Like, how can you balance your spiritual bents and your spiritual practices, your spiritual values, with how to support yourself in the world and what you're willing to put your time and energy and effort towards. I feel like in January, you're coming out of January with a renewed understanding of what you stand for and what's important to you. And maybe there's been a process of clearing out particular relationships that have served their purpose for you, Sagittarius. And also, I feel like it's like a decluttering of your mind, of your mental space, and also physically of your physical living space of, well, why am I keeping that around for 5 years? Because I thought I would use it at some point in time, and I no longer need that. So I feel like you're moving into February with this shedding energy. So let's see what the middle cards have to say. So the Ten of Cups in reverse, the Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel this continuing theme for you, Sagittarius. I'm not going to pull the clarifiers just yet because these are speaking a message already. That what you once found emotionally fulfilling, you're no longer gaining that emotional fulfillment in your life from, again, projects, relationships, partnerships, work life. You've had your heyday in a certain respect in those areas of life, and you're coming to understand that you're moving into a completely new phase with the Page of Pentacles is a newer, younger energy, and it seems like there's going to be movement or the beginning stages of movement on a creative project for you that you're hoping will give you prosperity in a way that is more resonating with your boiled down values and belief systems that you've come out of January with. Hope that's making sense, Sag. So the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Chariot. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune in reverse on the Six of Pentacles, I feel like in February you still need to get back to the drawing board and make a plan, Sagittarius, and really flesh out, and I'm seeing writing as part of your process in February. Get really clear on the type of abundant life that you would like to live. Like, what would make your heart sing, like, truly and absolutely, and put down your mental faculties and just sort of free write and dream. And I know Sagittarians are great at that. And I think it would be a very useful exercise through all of these changing eclipse energies that we're all experiencing through February and coming out of January even, to allow yourself the time to get quiet and just channel or do a vision board. I just saw, like, creating the life of your dreams and not holding back, however that looks, as unconventional as it may feel or seem or ridiculous. Like, get it down on paper and get it out of your head, because that's going to be giving you the motivation to take action on it towards the middle and into the end of February, Sagittarius. And I see great reward when you do that. The sun is shining in both of these cards, and I want to read a little bit about here. Just going to get quiet for a second. Okay, so with the Hermit reverse on the Ten of Cups in reverse, you have contemplated, I feel like this is more in the beginning of February, Sagittarius, on these partnerships or these projects that you had your heart in at one point in time, and it's just not your beacon of light anymore. It's not what you're wanting to put out into the world or focus your attention on, and that's totally fine. For everything there's a season is what's coming to mind, Sagittarius. And each individual on this planet, we only have so much time, attention, and energy and space in our lives to dedicate to certain areas and relationships and projects. So getting really clear again throughout February what it is you stand for, and I feel like you know what it is you stand for, and it's a very boiled down, potent version of where you've come from, of a certain direction that you've been going, Sagittarius, that has served its purpose. So that's great. these new horizons are going to be pulling you in a new direction, and you're going to be inspired more towards the end of February to start taking action on these new ideas. So I'll flip over the end of February, moving into March, the Three of Pentacles in reverse, the Empress. She popped her head out as I was shuffling, and Justice in reverse. I'll pull clarifiers right away. So the Magician, I'll tell you why I'm chuckling. And the Eight of Cups on the Empress. And the Nine of Swords on Justice. So I'm going to start right in the middle here. So you've walked away from potential ideas that you've been mulling over, coming out of February, going into the March energy, Sagittarius, that at one point in time you felt like this is it, this is your bread and butter. And again, the consistent message is it's just no longer does it for you. Whether this be a person or something, a creative project, something in your professional life. And you're taking the final steps in wrapping those projects up at the end of February. And I know I'm seeing that you had put your heart and soul in some of these projects that you're putting closure on, Sagittarius. And you're coming to the understanding that it's not a failure to move on from something. And you can take the wisdom and your skill level and your knowledge that you've gained and your experience with you forward. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with the same people. I feel like it's not going to be with the same people. But you're going to be using your resources in a very precise way and really focusing your energy and not squandering your energy in areas of life that you no longer find important or value. And I think that's lovely. So what is going on here towards the end of February with the Justice in reverse and the Nine of Swords? There could be a little bit of, as you're wrapping up the projects, Sagittarius, a worrisome vibe that you're not doing it the right way. And I say that with a grain of salt, but I feel like that's what you may be a little bit mentally tormented with, is that maybe you're letting things go materially, and it's a little bit of a grieving process. And say you're selling things online that you thought you were going to use for a project in the future, and you're not getting a full compensation on what you had initially financially invested in these products or items for. Not sure why that's coming up, but it's okay. You're clearing out the space to take on new and better projects in your life, Sagittarius. So let this process happen, and just the advice is to be an observer of the process instead of getting so emotionally wrapped up with it and going back and forth in your mind about whether or not you're making the right choice. I think ultimately you are, and that is going to shine its light in March. So trust that you're on the right path and that the universe is working in your favor, because it is. The universe is a benevolent place, and it wants you to be wildly abundant and prosperous and happy and joyful and blissed out. It's possible. And believe it, Sagittarius. I'm going to pull you a Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle by Judy Hall for a little bit more guidance and messages from the crystals. This one, Bloodstone. Ooh, it's a very dark picture. You see, number 11. You are in the 11th month. Let's see, number 11. It's a healing stone. So perseverance is the key word. Bloodstone has always had a powerful connection with maintaining vitality, regulating menstruation, and staunching blood loss, as well as purifying the kidneys. Well, there you have it. Bloodstone. Self-understanding. You are a magical being, an amalgam of your individuality, your family, and your environment. Let go of the past. Look closely at your ancestral line. Recognize toxic patterns subconsciously running your life. Break away and be strong. You may be unnecessarily aggressive or defensive. Acknowledge mistakes and let inner disharmonies be transmuted. And the divination message is this: detoxification and chaos precede transmutation. Excuse me. Perseverance is needed. Locked doors open, obstacles are swept away, and romance blossoms. Preserve your good reputation. Recognize your enemies and keep them close. Do not be deceived. A farewell is called for. Mourn appropriately and let go. You are a spiritual warrior. Be assertive. So I feel like that's totally talking about this bottom line here towards the end of the month of February, Sagittarius, releasing what no longer is serving you and allowing yourself the space to grieve those closing doors. And it's just part of the process. And you're clearing the space for new and brighter opportunities to flourish in your life. And the last thing it says is, for the healing insight, nourish your blood and you revitalize your whole body. So make sure you're drinking enough water through February, Sagittarius. That helps to detoxify your blood and keep the toxins flowing out. And make sure it's clean, pure water so that you can be vibrating at your highest possible level going through the energies of February.